throw him in as a freshman in the setup role, and he did a really, really good job for us last year. So the summer was a big time for him to go out there to the Cape, a very good summer league, and go out there and work on a new pitch and still be successful as a pitcher, you know, while you're trying to develop the third pitch. So that's the biggest growth I've seen with him.
Alejandro Rosario pitched really well on the alumni game. What have you noticed of his development from the Cape Cod to offseason?
So the biggest thing you see with him, he's got a new breaking ball. So it used to be a fastball, slider, changeup, and everything was kind of hard. Now he's developed a curveball, a true curveball, which is about 81 to 83 miles an hour. You know, his fastball's anywhere from 93 to 100. So that change of pace is really going to help him out with disrupting hitters' timing. It just seemed like the first couple of years everything was hard, and it was tougher to miss bats because there was no timing issue for the hitter, just a matter of, you know, reading the pitch. So that's going to be the biggest thing with him, is that curveball. He's got a really good feel for it and throws it for a strike really often.
If I remember correctly, I remember Andrew Walters being very fastball heavy last year. Has he kind of worked on developing new pitches?
Well, that's one of the things, as we kind of tinkered with him being a starter and stretched him out in the fall. You know, he was forced to throw more pitches, you know, and go 3-4 innings. So by doing that, you know, he had to throw more breaking balls. We kind of had a rule with him. Anytime that any hitter at a 0-1 count or 1-1 count, he had to throw a slider. Every hitter he faced. You know, it's just one of those things that even if the hitter knew it was coming, it forced you to throw it in the game, because you can work our stuff in the bullpen as much as you want, but until you face a hitter, you go game speed with it, you really don't get that feel for it, you know. So by doing that really helped him out. His changeup is still way behind his slider, but his slider, you're going to see a lot more of that pitch. I think you're going to see a better pitcher this year. Can't say you're going to see better numbers. That's something that, you know, it's tough to duplicate, if even possible, to be honest with you. But you can see a better pitcher, but more rounded pitcher with a better repertoire.
With Walters, was it a case of, you know, I know you look at him as a starter, right? Was it a case of you wanted to make sure your starters were good enough that you didn't need him to start, or was it just such a good closer that you just said, listen, we'll just take a chance with the starters, and you know we need a closer like you?
I think the closer like you is the bigger, you know, issue here. You know, last year we were able to start Palmquist because we had Andrew Walters. And again, no one thought he was going to have the year that he did, but we thought he could be a good closer for us. We didn't feel that way about him last year. Then Palmquist would have been our closer again, because he was so good back in 21 in that role. You know, we really didn't see anybody that could fill that spot, and just for the best for the team type of mentality, he's in that closer role. And I think for him, it's still, like I said earlier, with Gage having a third pitch to go through that lineup 3 or 4 times. He's, you know, Walter's still a 2-pitch guy for the most part. He'll show a changeup here or there, but not quite enough for the starting role.
Coach, just based off the scrimmages, Coach Samar was talking a lot about, you know, how it's gotten repetitive in a sense of the scrimmages, but what have you noticed about the pitchers and their composure, the command with guys in runners in scoring position as well?
Well, it's been, you know, with the pitchers, the young guys anyway, they still got a lot of growing up to do. You know, a lot of inconsistencies with them, which is very normal for a freshman. You know, some guys will come out of a great day and they come out the next day and it's like a completely different pitcher. But I've seen guys get stronger. You know, we kind of hit that dead arm period about a week and a half ago, and this last time around we adjusted the weightlifting, the conditioning, and the throwing, and you saw some of the velocities jump back up again last week, which is good to see. So the stuff is getting there, and now just kind of fine-tuning the command of all their pitches is kind of a work in progress, which, like that coach said, you're not going to, and you don't want to be at your best opening week. You want to get better every week out and be at your best at the end of the season.
We'll do a couple more for JD.
Okay, JD, I know you're not announcing the full rotation because Penn State hasn't, but when we do see those first 3 guys, was it close between number 3 and number 4? Is it close between number 4 and number 5? Could there be some movement, or was it a clear, hey, these are our best 3?
No, it's very close. You know, it's very close, and we also have the issue of we got 5 games the first 6 days of the season, and with starters not being stretched out, we're not going to go out and throw any starter 100 pitches. So we're going to have to use some guys in different ways this first time around, just because of need, and losing those 2 lefties obviously present another issue in itself, just having 14 arms right now. But yeah, it's definitely close, and you know, a guy like Rafe, he might start, but if he doesn't, it's not going to be because of performance. It's going to be because of a need in the bullpen for another left-handed arm. So it's a lot of factors that come into play to that.
Anything else for JD?